Now, we already have proof that they lied on camera. They weaponized intel agencies, and now the trap they set for Trump is closing in on them. Obama can't plead the fifth. Hillary got caught on tape. The cover-up just became the crime, and team think we got the receipts, as you can see right here, Exhibit A. Tulsi Gabbard reveals Russia hoax was forced by Obama directive. So in this, in this whole spill we see here, I know it's all blurry and everything, but a U.S. intel officer refused to sign the 2017 Russia report because it was fake. Not only was he threatened with losing his career, he was pressured to lie to the American people for Obama. For the big guy, right? And the left called Trump authoritarian. This wasn't intelligence. This was manipulation. Now, the documents are declassified and they can't lie anymore. They just can't. And you want to see what treason actually looks like? Tulsi just told the world the name behind the whole operation. Watch this.
Director, you've called these actions treasonous. Stephen Miller has called them seditious conspiracy. If you lay out the fact pattern, specifically given the Durham annex and what we've heard reported is going to be in that, you'll find that Christopher Steele was working for sanctioned Russian oligarchs, that many of his sources were Russian spies. This is a document of foreign interference, and that is definitionally treason. They were using foreign agents in order to affect and undermine our election. It just isn't the narrative that Donald Trump was doing that. That's been pushed on us for years. It was the opposite, correct? It was actually Hillary Clinton and the establishment at the FBI using foreign intelligence in a treasonous act against our own government. Am I getting that correctly?
You are, yes. And the interesting thing here is, again, I want to point back to the documents we released because people can go and read for themselves. Go to odni.gov. There you can click through. You can read the documents for themselves. This is not my view or my opinion or my interpretation. Go and read the documents yourself. Look at the emails that were sent from James Clapper's assistant out to the intelligence community, communicating that this assessment will be created per the president's direction. Read the documents for yourself. And then you can see, as you go through the documents, how in the months leading up to the election, the intelligence community consistently assessed that Russia had neither the intent nor the capability to be able to influence or swing the election for Donald Trump. And that's a critical statement there, because in the assessment that President Obama ordered, and you'll again see in the documents with great detail how he wanted an assessment that delivered intelligence that details how Moscow tried to help Trump get elected, not if, but how. And then DNI Clapper and CIA Director John Brennan delivered for President Obama through this manufactured intelligence assessment, again, based on discredited information and shoddy intelligence that was weaponized for a very specific political purpose.
Let's be clear. Hillary Clinton paid for Russian lies. The Steele dossier was written by Russian spies, then funneled to the CIA and FBI like it was real intel. They use it to obviously hide a hand at flipping a you-know-what, trigger federal probes and smear a sitting president. And now Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, is calling it for what it is: treason. But here's where it gets sick. Hillary knew the whole thing was a lie, obviously, and still pushed it all on TV for years. The lie she helped write, she played the victim. Here's what that looks like in real time.
I think that there is a lot to investigate, and I'm personally very grateful that somebody of the stature of Robert Mueller would be there conducting this investigation. He's a totally straight arrow guy. I mean, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And I really believe that he will be honest and transparent and tell us whatever it is he finds. But
Is
as
that
I say
so?
in the book, and I try to explain what bothers me, there's just too many connections to be called just coincidences. There just are. And, you know, some of it is financial entanglements, and some of it is hunting for, you know, negative information about me, and some of it is calling, you know, people and trying to hide the connections and the meetings and the calls and all of that. All of that has gone on. Now, there's a lot of smoke, and whether or not there's fire, we need to figure it out. But here is what's important. Put the investigation into Trump, his associates, and everybody else to one side. There is no denying that the Russians interfered in the election.
Right.
Whether or not they had willing or unwitting help from the Trump team, they interfered, and they did so to help him and hurt me, and they did so to destabilize our democracy, and they have not stopped.
What's not clear from your book is whether you think that the Trump campaign was colluding in this.
We don't know the answer to that. That is part of what is being explored. There are some serious questions, because what happened when the emails of my campaign manager, John Podesta, were stolen by the Russian intelligence services. Then they were conveyed to WikiLeaks, which is basically now a mouthpiece for Russia authoritarianism. And then they were released on the very same day that the Hollywood Access tape came out showing Trump bragging about sexual assault. Then they were what we call weaponized, so that they were turned into phony news stories, they were turned into Facebook posts, and then they were targeted at specific voters. The question is, where did the Russians get that kind of targeting information? And, you know, that is one of the unanswered questions that investigators in Congress and the special counsel are looking into.
The Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions.
This has got to be the last one.
Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this, and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past. Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before. I mean, if you're...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do no more of this Hillary Clinton, man. We got enough. It's about another minute left that I'm going to avoid us from having to suffer through. But that's an Oscar-worthy performance right there. She knew she signed off on the smear. She knew the dossier was fake. She knew Mueller would find nothing. But she looked you in the eyes and said, there's too many connections to be coincidence. The only connection was her campaign to a foreign hit job. Okay? She didn't just lie. She led the lie. And now it's catching up. But here's where it all turns. Obama, the man behind the curtain, just lost his shield. The same one that... I'm just saying. And now legal trap he created for somebody else, you know what I mean? Might be the same one he don't walk out of. Y'all, look at this.
I know President Trump has every right to be frustrated with him. I think President Trump's analysis last week was right. I think my immunity rule might protect him on the original charges. That's what most legal experts tell me, that ruling is so sweeping it will protect Obama for what he did in office. However, Barack Obama can now be summoned before a grand jury. He cannot take the Fifth Amendment because he has immunity from prosecution. He'll have to tell the truth. If he lies as a private citizen about what he did as president, he'll no longer have that immunity. And that is a trap that Obama is sitting potentially facing. And I want to say the irony to that, because on January 5th, 2017, he presided over a meeting in the White House where the FBI had just cleared Mike Flynn of any wrongdoing. And they schemed in that meeting how they might be able to jam up Mike Flynn. And they came up with the idea, we'll lure him into an interview, catch him into a lie, and then prosecute him that way. Barack Obama now is about to face a potential similar situation as the one he created unfairly for Mike Flynn.
Now, Obama, he can't plead the Fifth. He has immunity from prosecution, but only if he tells the truth. If he lies, he loses it all. Let that sink in. Obama can be called, he can be called to testify about what he did as president. If he covers it up, game over. He used this exact tactic to target Flynn. Now it's boomeranging back. And just when you thought it couldn't get any dirtier, the receipts from inside the FBI, they don't just show bias, they show sabotage. Here's what Trump was up against from day one.
Trump will not be president.
Highly critical, biased text messages between senior FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page.
There will be no question about the outcome of this election.
And she got ahead of herself. This utterly stunned this campaign.
Head home. You should get some sleep. We'll have more to say tomorrow.
Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power.
The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. We want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
These declassified documents that were just released.
Officials in the Obama administration were asking for the identities to be unmasked of Americans.
Unmasking of aides and staffers of the incoming president.
The basic charge, political spying.
To disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Unmasking of American citizens. It could be a real problem.
Why is it that the unmasking of Flynn somehow ended up in the pages of the Washington Post?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The vice president said that yesterday, and then the last name on this list is Joe Biden.
The Obama administration was bitter. They wanted to do everything they could to undermine the incoming Trump administration.
Really designed to sabotage and really upend the new administration.
An outgoing president and a vice president and a Washington Post columnist and the FBI setting up an incoming administration. Wow, that's a real conspiracy, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Peaceful transfer of power. That's what they pretended. Behind the scenes, they were spying, unmasking, leaking, sabotaging the next president before he ever took office. You got all these names. Peter Strzok, or however you say his name. Lisa Page, Biden, Obama. All of them were in on it, plus more. And now, the last name on the list was Joe Biden. The same one pretending this was all fiction. This wasn't protecting democracy. This was egging it. And just so you remember who called it before anyone else, let's rewind the clock to one of the most savage moments in debate history. Trump said it, and now it aged like a prophecy.
Fact check him in real time. Last time at the first debate, we had millions of people fact checking, so I expect we'll have millions more fact checking because, you know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Hey!
Fact check him.
Now, that's one that never gets old. Ooh, excuse me. Y'all, I was over here having severe hunger pains. I had to run and give me some pineapples real quick. Ooh. But he said, because you'd be in jail. He said it with his chest in 2016, too. They mocked him for it. Now, the people are chanting it louder than ever because all the lies, the spying, the media manipulation, it all points back to Clinton. That all points back to Obama. And if we're being real, she's the only one who actually did what she accused him of. And that brings us to right now. The final move might not come from Trump. It might come from you. If the right people feel the pressure, here's what you can do next. Boom. Call to action for Pam Bondi. This is a post from Gunther Eagleman. If there was ever a time to hold the elites accountable, it's now. Pam Bondi's getting tagged in this post for a reason, okay? She knows what time it is. We're not talking about rumors anymore. We're talking about receipts. Obama, Clinton, Comey, Clapper, Lisa, Peter. The entire narrative is collapsing. And same thing. This is what you Ross, okay? We're not just consumers anymore. We're the ones pushing the truth back into the public square. That's us. That's what we do. And if y'all felt this, I would love if you can, help in doing your part by just hitting that like button, dropping a comment, possibly even sharing it if it's on your heart. That's how you join the 4X Club. Watch 4 videos a day. Like, comment, repost if it's on your heart. I did. We got from Doug in Exile, and now it's becoming a movement. I'm starting to see it in the comments all day. Shout out to our Truth Show just real quick. Y'all know I got to go ahead and get y'all shouted out real quick. I got to give a huge shout out to Lorwell Donquist, Truth Seeker 9090, Crummy Dash. I'm sorry, I butchered that name. Crummy Danish Life, Salty Misfit 6566, and Phaedro. I don't even know if I can say that name. Phaedro 79. I don't want to say the middle of that. Y'all be safe. Go check out somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.